The question is that the amendments be disagreed to, and I call the honourable member for Dunkley.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak on this bill as the voice of my community of Dunkley, as I do on all manner of legislation and issues that come before this House. But I can tell this House that I have received hundreds and hundreds of emails from members of my community about the environment and specifically about this government's attempts to reform the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act. Not a single one of those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails have asked me to support this legislation. Not a single one. This morning I received an email from Christine from my electorate. I'm going to read it to the chamber because it personifies those hundreds and hundreds of emails that I have received from members of my community across Dunkley. Dear relevant senators and Ms Murphy, my federal MP, I am extremely concerned that the Morrison government is continuing to push through amendments to the EPBC Act to hand over national decision-making responsibilities to states and territories with no commitment to the national standards Professor Samuel has recommended. Professor Samuel's recommendations are balanced, following a year of consultation with scientists, environment and business groups and the community. I am alarmed that the government is proposing a weaker set of standards. Christine goes on to say, the streamlining bill will put Australia's wildlife and habitats in further peril. I think devolving environmental approvals to the states and territories is taking a reckless gamble with our environment. If the government persists with devolving approvals for matters of national environmental significance, it must implement the full recommendations of the independent review, including Professor Samuel's suite of national environmental standards, an independent statutory Environment Assurance Commissioner with teeth, and an independent Office of Compliance and Enforcement. And Christine ends with this sentiment. Now is not the time to weaken environmental regulations and pass laws that will have detrimental impacts on nature, but instead to ensure that our environment is put at the centre of our thinking and laws strengthened and enforced. As I said, Christine's email reflects all of the input that I've had from my community